Hey y'all, it's Natalie with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I'm using the 'Tis the Season page kit that is out right now, and it's so good. It's such it's traditional Christmas colors, but it also has blue in it, and I just love it. It's like really unique, and it was so perfect for these photos that I took of my kids last year. They're both wearing sweaters with blue in them and standing in front of my tree. And I love it. So that ornament paper is from Carta Bella, and it's called Shiny Ornaments. And this blue plaid paper is from Echo Park, and it's called Polar Plaid. And one side is that blue plaid, and then this other side is this lovely muted blue snowflakes. So I'm going to use both sides of it. So I just made, I tore strips off of those three papers. And you can see what I'm doing right there. I'm kind of tearing them, and they're going to be at the top of my page. And then I'm going to use some Distress Oxides. I'm going to create like a V in the middle of the page going down with the photos on top. So that's what I was kind of showing you with my fingers right there. And this is some smooth white cardstock. This came in the kit as well, and it does not have any gesso on it because I'm just doing ink blending. I'm not adding a lot of water to this page, and I don't really feel like I need to manipulate the Distress Oxides much, so I don't need gesso. So I'm using Speckled Egg as the light blue color, and the dark blue color is Chipped Sapphire. And the Speckled Egg is has a little bit of like a green tinge to it that doesn't match absolutely perfectly, but if I lightly rub over it with the brush from the Chipped Sapphire or blend them together, then the blue is perfect. And when it reflects off the other blue, it does perfectly match with the blues in this collection. So the ink blending is not 100% perfect, but that's okay. Our focus or challenge this month is to use stamps. And so I'm going to further embellish that background with some stamps. But I put the photos back on, and you basically couldn't see the Chipped Sapphire. So I decided to add a little bit more patch of the Chipped Sapphire over here on the right, so it'll stick out from those sides of the photo a little bit. So I have this really cute Christmas stamp set by Catherine Pooler. I think it's called Nostalgia, Merry Nostalgia maybe, or Christmas Nostalgia, something like that. But anyway, it has two really cute little ornaments that matched really well with that top shiny ornament paper by Carta Bella. So I'm using the same two Distress Oxide inks, and I'm just kind of doing a little bit of tone-on-tone stamping just around the edges of my triangle here. And I'm doing first generation and second generation. So second generation would be like when you stamped it the first time, and then you stamp it the second time, and it's a little lighter because I want all these variations. And then I'm going in with the additional stamps in the set that kind of decorate the ornaments. And I'm not being super precise or anything, but just making sure they kind of look like decorated ornaments, kind of like that top paper, right? And then I'm using the same Distress Oxides, and I'm using them as watercolors. I add a little bit of water and then use my paintbrush and use them to create splatter. And while this is adding water to the page, it's not much. So again, no need for the gesso because it's just a little bit. And the Distress Oxides work really well with water, and so adding the water to that full color in the middle kind of picks up some of the color, and it gives it a really cool look. So right here I'm showing you the look that I'm going for the title. I have red glitter alphas, and I had red glitter paper, but I didn't have any blue glitter paper that matched the colors I was going with, so I decided to make my own. So I just rubbed my Wow Embossing ink pad over that white cardstock, and then I'm using this, I think it's called Midnight Twinkle. It's a really lovely blue, almost like navy blue glitter heat embossing powder. And I just like spread it all over the page, and then I'll use that to cut out some alphas. And I'm gonna leave all of the process of heating it up in here because that is just the most satisfying thing ever. So the title is gonna say Nice Until Proven Naughty, because snarky titles like that are so fabulous especially around Christmas time for these two wild boys. And I'm going to use my favorite dyes, which are, I think they're called Kelly Alphas from Pink Fresh Studios. So I cut out the full alpha with the red, and I'm showing you when I cut it out, in order to keep the outline attached to the inside, I just put a piece of tape on it before I remove it from the alpha dye. And then I use that embossing powder paper that I just created with the blue, and I cut them out again, but I only used the outline. And now I'm attaching the outline to the red glitter letter so that it is all nice and highlighted and will pop off the page and coordinates really well with all of the pages. So I only did the words nice and naughty in those colors, and then I'm going to find a different alpha to use to give me the rest of the title. And I'm just doing all that while I let the page dry over here. And also, those are the mini alphas from the last month's kit where they had the ones from Good Times by Pink Fresh Studio. And I pulled out the green ones because there is green in the paper. But I decided that it was not really, I wasn't introducing green anywhere else in the page. So I decided not to use those alphas. But right here, I decided to add a little bit of sparkle to the background. So that was me using some pewter mica spray by Ranger to add a few more sparkles or sprinkles or splatters of color in the same areas where I had already added the Distress Oxide splatters. So while that dries, I am building my tiered layers. I'm actually going to attach them together. So I just put a little bit of tape at the bottom and am sticking the next torn piece of paper under that, and just making sure that everything is peeking out and you can see each different pattern and that it looks appealing to my eye. So, and I do have to end up turning the heat gun back on my paper because I was impatient and it wasn't dry yet and I still wanted to get going. But I'm using my fingers here to just ruffle up those distressed edges and just give it a little bit more texture for when I adhere that strip of pattern paper to the top of my page. And I'm really loving the way that looks. So you can see, even though my ink blending wasn't so perfect, it didn't really matter because once I distressed it all with the ink, with the stamping and the splatters, it just really gave it a different look. So I'm just kind of positioning everything on the paper how I want it to be, and I'm looking through a few of the alphas from my stash to decide what I want to finish off that title with, since I decided to forego that green. So I go with these just plain white puffy alphas, and so it's finishing off the title to say, nice until proven naughty. And promise, they were for sure naughty. They're always naughty. When they're together, they're naughty. Separately, they can be perfect little angels, but together, man, they bring out the worst in each other. Whew. So I'm just sticking down all of those. And like I showed you before, the way I keep the outline of the red with the inside was I added some tearaway tape on the back. So I used that in addition to additional Nuvo adhesive to adhere down all those letters. And they're pretty thick cardstock, so, I'm going to make sure to put a lot of adhesive on there. So I have my title, and now it's time to embellish. So these are from Pretty Little Studio in the 'Tis the Season kit. And I think that is where they got the name of the kit, because this collection is called 'Tis the Season. And this is 'Tis the Season Snow Globe Ephemera over here on the right that I'm going through. And I'm just pulling out the pieces that I think I might use. And they're so cute. So I loved that little octagon that said something about being friends, I think. And it was blue. And then I pulled out a few peppermints, because there was a blue one and there was a red one. And then there were a couple of really cute little houses. And then I love that little old Santa, because of course Santa is the one that makes the nice and naughty list. Or if you watch the new Santa Claus, it's the misunderstood list, which cracked me up because that's what my father-in-law says about my little guy all the time. He's not naughty, he's just misunderstood. They've been listening, Disney's been listening to our conversations. So I'm just kind of embellishing around the photo clusters all the way down to stay within the mixed media background that I created, kind of. So I found that other little reindeer circle as well, and it had blue in it, so that was perfect. So I just like to repeat the elements. So I definitely added in 2 of the arrows. I added in 2 circles with the characters in them. I added in, 2 houses and multiple candy canes. Just kind of make sure to duplicate most of the items to bring cohesion to the page, right? So I'm just sticking everything down with my Nuvo adhesive, and I'm almost done. I will go in as well and create, I'm going to use a couple of those little flags that you can see over there on the left. Those are also from Pretty Little Studio, and they're just cut apart little flags that say different things. And then I'm going to add those pearls you can see on the far right. You'll see them closer in a minute, but they're the 'Tis the Season mix that go perfectly with this collection. And then that's going to be it. So I will link down below to the Not Just for Boys Kit Club store, as well as directly to the 'Tis the Season kit. It's a bigger kit than they normally put out because they are not releasing any more kits for the rest of the year. But it is more than enough to get so many of your Christmas photos done. And I really love the unique color palette that maybe you're not finding elsewhere in other Christmas collections this season. So I definitely recommend getting it. And like I said, I'll link down below. And let me know if you have any questions. Please play along with us for our stamping challenge. You still have a couple days. And in our Facebook group, check us out over there if you aren't already a member. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love it if you like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.